Hello friends, this is lecture 1 about the subject of mobile computing. So mobile computing is an elective course that is open for B.Tech third year and the fourth year students. The main purpose of this course is to introduce about the mobile mechanism in terms of the communication. So when a subscriber calls to a receiver, so what are the scenarios, what are the communication mechanism, what are the protocols are used, what are the computing techniques are used, that we will learn in this subject. So mobile computing is one of the computing that is called the ubiquitous computing also. Ubiquitous means ubiquitous means separate devices, means each device has to perform some computation task. Each device has a computational ability. So mobile computing is a computing where each device has a computational ability, and this computation can be anything like if we want to make a call to another person, that is called a computing. If I want to transmit a certain message, certain voice, video, mp3 files or bit files, whatever it is come under the category of the computing. As well as by using of the mobile computing techniques, we can elaborate some useful applications also in the business purpose, in the personal purpose, in the social purpose. So there are so many applications in the mobile computing. So mobile computing, the basic backbone of the mobile computing is the wireless computing, because without wireless computing, mobile computing will not work. The reason is the mobile computing, it act as a separate portable device, means a device which can be um, which can change the location from one place to another place, means it is location independent devices, as well as it is a speedy network. So mobile computing is a location independent, time independent, as well as it is a speedy network devices. So computing over the network by using the mobiles is termed as a mobile computing. But here is a confusing word that is called mobile. The mobile computing terms as the computing devices has to be in the form of mobile, but it is not necessary. Mobile computing, it is the whole subject. This subject, mobile computing, is introduced to learn about the concept regarding the communication that the mobile uses in order to transfer the data from one sender to another receiver. But these mobile devices are called as a wireless devices, and these wireless devices can be anything. So we will learn about that one by one. So what is basically the mobile computing? So mobile computing is widely described as the ability to compute remotely on the move. Means we are free to move, free to go to move anywhere. We can access the data, we can send the data, we can initiate the call anywhere in the location, anywhere location at any time. So mobile computing is a generic term. This generic term is used to refer the devices that allows it to transmit the data from one device to another device by using the wireless network. Okay, so compute remotely on the move means we can compute certain things over the mobile devices remotely. Means if we are residing in the home, then we can use different type of networks in order to do the computation. There are different types of the network. The first one is that we can use Wi-Fi technology, as well as we can use mobile services, as well as we can use Bluetooth technology. So W-band and W-WAN, three types of wireless devices can be used over the mobile computing in order to perform the communication from one location to the another location. And the mobile computing enables possibility to access the information anytime, anywhere in the world. As I told you earlier, the mobile computing is the computing which is location independent. Means you can move on the network, like you can travel on the vehicle, you can travel on the airplane, you can travel on the roller coaster, you can travel on the cycle, on the scooter, on the walk, whatever you want to do. Means in the moving side, you can use your mobile phones, you can use internet, you can use the internet in order to transmit the data, you can transmit the data, make the calls to your friends on the moving ability. So by the motion, we can use the mobile computing concept anywhere in the world and any time in the world. So it is location dependent as well as it is time independent. So my mobile computing, it is a very beautiful concept. So guys, you will surely make interest over this newly subject that is introduced in the BTech third year and the fourth year, because we are mobile dependent users, and nowadays we are mobile chronic type of persons. We are only the mobile chronic type of persons. So whatever the mechanism is behind over the mobile usage, mobile internet, mobile services, that we will learn step by step. So mobile computing is widely described as the ability to compute remotely on the move. Means you can access the internet by moving on the network, on the vehicle, on the roller coaster, on anywhere in the medium, as well as you can connect it to the internet, you can send the data, you can do the some useful applications like business also. So, wireless networking. As I told you that wireless networking is the backbone of the mobile networking. Why? Because wireless networks are the computer networks that are not connected by cables of any kind. Obviously, as the name indicates, wireless networking. Wireless means there is no need of wiring. In order to access the internet, there is no need to plug the wire to your enabled devices. There is no need of wire and the plugs, means wireless networking. So it is does not require any kinds of cables, any kinds of switches, any kinds of infrastructure there. So the use of a wireless network enables enterprises to avoid the costly process of introducing cables into buildings, because the assignment of the cables under the ground, over the ground, means incurs an excessive cost. So the wireless networking, which is a very portable type of thing, as well as it is a very cost friendly, and it maintains a connection between different equipment locations. Also, it does not need any connection equipment at the different locations. Just you has to play the adapter, and you have to configure your router adapter, and you can use the internet by using your mobile devices. And your mobile devices can be anything. Not the term mobile is not making the way that you are using the mobile, you are using the smartphones. Not like that. The mobile computing is you are using the devices. It is a generic term that refers to the devices, and it allows you to transfer the data from one location to another by using the wireless networking. And these mobile devices can be anything. Okay, and the wireless networking is a backbone of the mobile computing, because without using of the wireless networking, you cannot do any type of computation, because in the absence of the wireless networking, you cannot connect to the internet in order to transfer the data, which is very mandatory. So this is the certain points which initiates the difference between the mobile computing versus the wireless computing. So the first point I already told you, that it is the backbone of the mobile computing. Wireless networking and the mobile computing are different things, obviously, because the infrastructure of the mobile computing is different and the infrastructure of the wireless networking is total different. So infrastructure wise, as well as configuration wise, it is totally different kind of devices. But in the collaboration of these two devices, that is mobile and the wireless adapter, it makes some useful features that is called the mobile computing. So computation is done by using the wireless network, and this wireless network can be of different type, that is infrastructure based as well as non-infrastructure piece. So it is the backbone of the mobile computing, because without wireless networking you cannot do any type of computation, because you cannot connect to the internet. It is an extension of the physical wide network. It is talking about the wireless networking, because in the previous advancement of the internet, there is a LAN, that is local area network, in which cables is aligned into the wall as well as the ground, and the internet is connected by using the ISP and the switches, and that is the called physical wide network. But nowadays this totally LAN concept is goes out, and in place of the LAN cables, wireless adapter or wireless Wi-Fi plus switches is used. So it is an extension of the wireless wide network. Why? Why it is extension? Because in place of the cables, it uses wireless adapters. Only the one device is situated over there. It is configured, and after the configuration, your mobile laptops and your desktops can directly connect it by using some configuration techniques. Then it provides all the basic infrastructure for communication for the mobile computing. Means wireless networking has the ability that your mobile can communicate, mobile can connect it to the internet in order to do certain computation as well as the communication. It can do all the, it can provide all the protocols. Means the IP layer protocol, that is called IP protocol, as well as TCP protocol, is directly converted into the mobile IP as well as mobile TCP in order to perform some mobile computation. The automatically the gateway is maintained between the antenna situated over there, and the gateway is maintained in the your mobile devices, and automatically your IP layer will act as a IP protocol in the IP layer will act as a mobile IP, and TCP protocol in the transport layer will act as a mobile TCP. So it provides all the basic infrastructure and the facilities that enables your mobile devices to do certain computation in order to perform the communication, in order to perform the transfer of video files, MP3 files, and the voice files. Then types of the wireless network. Basically, there are three types of wireless network, but in this slide, it is mentioned only two, because the two of the infrastructure is comes under the category of no fixed infrastructure. So I will tell you one by one. So first one is the type of the wireless network is wireless network based on fixed infrastructure. Fixed infrastructure means your wireless LAN, means your Wi-Fi, in which you have to place the wireless adapter, means router, and you have to do certain configuration. After the configuration, the access point is maintained. Access point configuration, your mobile stations as well as your desktop and the laptops will have to be connected to your mobile adapters, routers, and you can access the internet. So there is a fixed infrastructure, means and there is a server, there should be situated a server, there should be the location of the wireless adapter, there should be another wireless adapter. So there is a fixed infrastructure there. It is comes under the category of W band, and the range is about 100 feet. And another is wireless networking having no fixed infrastructure. So there are two categories comes under this no fixed infrastructure. Like the first one is called mobile services, mobile data services, and the another one is called personal area network, that is WPAN, wireless personal area network. So mobile services can be understood by using the mobile data. In your mobile there is a symbol, is the mobile data, and you have to click over there, and after the clicking, enabling of this mobile data, you can access to the internet, because you are directly connected to the internet by using the enabling of this mobile data location, right? And the another one is called WPAN, that is wireless personal area network. It is also no fixed infrastructure. There is no fixed infrastructure, because only you have to enable your Bluetooth, and after the enabling of the Bluetooth, you can access the internet, you can connect it to another devices, and you can transfer the data. So there are two types of the wireless network. The first one is when there is a fixed infrastructure is needed, and another one is when there is no fixed infrastructure needed. And when there is no fixed infrastructure needed, there are two types of wireless network. The first one is your mobile data services, and the second one is wireless pan area services. Now the first example is infrastructure based. This is the wireless network where the infrastructure is required, in which you can see that this tight line is called the wired medium, that is called the wired cables, and this dotted line is called the wireless network. So basically the infrastructure based networking is the combination of a wireless network and the wired network, but in this example I am talking about only the wired network. So you can concentrate only this example, that these two computers are linked with these adapters, routers, adapters, switches, and these are called the wired network and infrastructure. So there is a scheme you have to follow in order to provide the internet. Means you have to place adapter here, then you have to configure your devices, then you have to connect your desktop to this switches or the routers. So it is an infrastructure based. Now come to the another example, that is called the satellite system. In the satellite system, in order to maintain the communication connectivity to the satellite system to our mainframe computers, there is a need of the internet, so there is a separate ISP protocol have to be implemented there. Satellite ISP, it is called satellite ISP. You can see in the figure the satellite ISP is provided here. So this satellite ISP is linked with your satellite system, and this ISP is converted into the internet, and you can provide the data by using the this medium, and you can communicate with the satellite, and satellite will also transfer the data over this communication mechanism. So it is also the infrastructure based communication system, right? And the another example is wireless mesh network. So what is wireless mesh network? In the computer networks, you are already studied about the wireless mesh networking. So in the wireless mesh networking means the list of the wireless devices. It contains the list of wireless devices, and each wireless devices have to be connected to each other. Means each device has to connect another device in the communication medium, in the communication range, that is called wireless mesh network. So this is one of the example of the infrastructure based communication system wireless network. And the another example is not the another example, it is again explained. So infrastructure based has certain points. It uses the fixed infrastructure that I told you earlier. It uses the fixed infrastructure, that is one of the example is satellite system. In order to provide the communication with the satellite system, it has to maintain the satellite ISP, and by using the satellite ISP, it provides a certain IP address in order to communicate via the internet. So it uses the fixed infrastructure. It has the mandatory scheme. It is a mandatory protocol. You have to follow mandatory devices. You have to establish in your system in order to enable the internet, in order to use the internet. Simply the extension of the wired network, this point is already explained by me, that is the wireless network is the extension of wired network. But in case of the cables in the wired network, there is a lining of the cables and lining of the switches are there, but in the wireless network we do not need cables, just you have to place the wireless adapters. Single hop communication or two hop communication means in the infrastructure based communication system, which is again the wireless type, the communication can be the single hop, means one-to-one communication, as well as single hop communication means in the mobile ad hoc network when each device is connected to the another device. Here the single hop communication can be maintained, or two hop communication can be maintained. Then the wireless LAN, WLAN. So one of the infrastructure based services is example is wireless LAN. Here one of the example is wireless LAN is here the adapters of the routers are placed, and and these two systems are connected to this wireless adapter. So this is an example of the WLAN, that is wireless LAN. Expertise in setting up is not required because there is no need to lining of the cables, there is no need to maintaining the extra switches or plugs. So expertise is not needed, just you have to place your adapter, you have to follow the instruction, you have to configure your adapter, and you can use the internet by connecting your mobile devices to this adapter. Now the no infrastructure, it is very simple concept. No infrastructure means, as the name indicates, when there is no infrastructure has to be followed in order to access the internet. Means each device has to communicate to the another device without any rule. Here these two mobile systems are connected to each other. If I in my mobile smartphone, if I enable the mobile hotspot, then there is a certain wireless Wi-Fi type of network is created, and by using this mobile hotspot, another candidate can use my connection. Means one-to-one communication is maintained, and there is no infrastructure, that again it is location independent. If I am here, then the person who are trying to connect me via the hotspot can be anywhere in this room. So this is the no infrastructure mechanism in which there is no scheme has to be followed. Thus just only you have to connect to each other, only you have to connect to another devices without any rules, without any infrastructure. So one of the example of the no infrastructure is mobile ad hoc networks. Mobile ad hoc network means mobile, the devices which are on the mobile type, and ad hoc network means location independent. These locations are continuously changed. If I am connecting to this device, and after some time I can connect to the another device. regarding to my range. So this is the one of the example of the mobile ad hoc networks. The another one example of the no infrastructure is called the Bluetooth system, that is called the blue band wireless personal area network. So in the Bluetooth there is very a short limited range, and according to the short limited range you can connect it to one or more devices. So again there is no infrastructure mechanism has to be followed in order to maintain the connectivity, in order to do data transfer, in order to connect to the internet. Now there are certain points you have to be studied over the no infrastructure wireless network. So it is also called the ad hoc networks, as I told you earlier. Ad hoc network means temporary type of things, and the networks which is temporary, the device which is connected to another device at one time, which again it is connected to the another device at another time. So there is temporary type of thing. But in the wireless LAN, in the infrastructure based, if I am connected to the my wireless adapter, that is IIIT Nagpur at the rate of faculty internet, then I am always connecting to the IIIT Nagpur at the rate of faculty internet. I cannot connect to some other wireless adapter. But in the ad hoc networks, according to my range, according to my communication antenna system, communication antenna range, it can connect it to the wireless devices, it can connect it to the wireless various networks. So it is called the ad hoc networks, mean the temporary. Then data channels through multiple hops. Data channels through multiple hops in the wireless network, only one or two hops are possible, because there is an adapter and I am the another one who is the user, and there is no middleware devices, there is no the middleware devices in between the access point and the me. So there is one hope to hope communication as well as two hope communication. But in the case of no infrastructure there may be multiple hopes, and that's why your BFS and DFS and the DSTV routing protocols are used. In the advanced data structure as well as the data structure, you already learned about the how to find the BFS, how to find the DFS, how to find the DSDV, distance routing shortest path as a greedy algorithm. So that protocols we have to be studied, that algorithms that we had to study at the advanced data structure. Because of these mechanisms we have to implement those mechanisms over these applications in order to perform, in order to route the packets through the multiple hops. Then stable infrastructure is not necessary, because already the communication is temporary, the connection is temporary, so stable infrastructure is not necessary. And PAN personal area network created by Bluetooth are the best example. As I told you earlier, wireless personal area network is one of the example of the infrastructure wireless medium, and it requires the expertise, knowledge, and less reliable than infrastructure based wireless network. It requires expertise knowledge, because expertise means you have to connect to the internet, and you have to create a certain configuration in your mobile phone also. So some knowledge you have to be acquired in order to maintain the connectivity with the internet, in order to maintain the connectivity some other devices, and it is less reliable. Reliability means if there is a certain failure, then your system will get to retain your data, means fault tolerance capability. But no infrastructure is very less reliable, because it is a temporary network, and anytime anywhere your connection can be interrupted. So this is the points over the no infrastructure.